Hello, welcome to Bourbon and a Baby. My name is Jay. Max will not be joining us today because Max is still a baby and he cannot drink Old Granddad. Alright, so kind of a cool episode today because I was able to get my hands on a dusty bottle of Old Granddad. So shout out to my wife's grandpa, Frank. We were talking whiskey one day and he's like, hey, I'm not a big whiskey drinker. I've had this bottle of whiskey for like 20 years or so. Are you interested? Do you want it? And I was like, absolutely, I want it. And he pulls this massive thing out. And it turns out it's older than 20 years. It's from, best I can gauge, anywhere from 1979 to the like early 80s, like 83, 84. So somewhere in that period. So this is as old or maybe just a year older than me. So that's kind of cool. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that up against a current day bottling of Old Granddad. This is produced by Jim Beam now. This was still being produced by National Distillers, which does not exist anymore. So kind of see the differences. This is the 86 proof version of Old Granddad, and this is now an 80 proof version. So we're gonna have a slight difference proof wise, but it'll be kind of cool to see kind of how these are alike or different and all that fun stuff. Before we get started, I just wanted to give a shout out to RWP Supply Company. They make some great t-shirts, so make sure to give them a follow on Instagram and check out their store. I'll put the link in the description below. All right, so let's get a pour of each of these going here. Okay, so first up, let's go to the nose on the current day Old Granddad 80. Can definitely taste the rye. This is a higher rye bourbon. Can definitely smell that rye, kind of baking spices. And there's like a light, like kind of a light, airy, almost like fresh fruitiness aspect to it as well. A little bit of brown sugar in that as well. Let's see what we get from the 86, 1979 to early 80s Old Granddad. Wow, this is completely different. I get less of those darker, rye notes. And I can pick up a little bit more of the ethanol from that 86 proofness. I do get kind of that fresh, like light fresh fruits that I got from this. But there's something else going on here that I'm not quite picking up just yet. It's almost like kind of a waxiness, like a oily waxiness aspect that this clearly doesn't have. Yeah, like you ever get those like when you were a kid, those like wax candies that for some reason I don't know, I liked them. Almost like when you're chewing on one of those. I'm kind of getting there. So yeah, interesting. Definitely two very different, distinctly different profiles. Although they do have in common that one thing of that fresh light fruit. All right, I'm excited to get to the palate on these. So I'll start with the Old Granddad current day 80 proof first. Cheers. light but peppery, like black pepper. A hint of caramel. And yeah, definitely that kind of continued rye bread, rye spice theme. Not much of not a very long finish. And I mean, it's 80 proof, so you don't really expect it to be overly complex. Warms you a little bit, but doesn't give you like that big Kentucky bear hug or anything like that. But pretty enjoyable, especially at the price point. Pretty enjoyable pour. Let's see what we get from this one. Cheers. Again, this one, the nose like transfers almost perfectly. It's waxy, and that might sound like a bad thing, but it's actually kind of a cool aspect of it. It's got kind of this waxy, oily mouthfeel that I really like. It's really like, it's not, again, kind of like this, it's not overly complex, but I feel like it packs more of a flavor punch. I'm getting a little bit of that fresh fruit. I'm getting a little bit of that rye spice, just more in the background. Not as peppery. Like I don't get the black pepper that I got off of that one. But yeah, just kind of fun experience drinking this one. Let me try another sip here. There's a bit of like a leathery note to it as well, which I did not get on this one. But yeah, I think maybe a part of the reason it's I get that waxy and oiliness more from this is that it is an older product. Back in the late 70s, early 80s. One of the kind of theories on why some older products taste different than their current day counterparts is that they didn't have as much cleanliness standards as they have today. So like the pipes that things would go through would get much more buildup, and that would just impart extra flavor. It's like an extra seasoning, if you will. Whereas now those pipes are all cleaned out. They don't have that kind of buildup on them as much. So that's a theory, and I can definitely see that being kind of ringing true in this case, if that is in fact a real thing. I'm gonna go back and forth one more time. I will say, I think I like this one a little bit more, but this one, like if you're looking for, and which I know you're not gonna find this, it's not an easy find, it's not something you're gonna find every day. But if you were looking for like kind of a lighter, more smooth experience, this one's definitely the way to go. This one just, like I said, has those kind of extra flavors in it. So it's really kind of cool to explore. I'll be interested to see, because this is a massive bottle. I'll be interested to see once I get it down to maybe like the halfway point, if anything changes in there as it kind of opens up a little bit more as well. But man, I'm so glad. Again, thanks to Frank for hooking me up with this bottle. Keeping it in the back of a cupboard somewhere for almost 40 years. So much appreciated. Shout out to Frank. But yeah, that's what I have here. Definitely, I'm a fan of Old Grandad. I actually like Old Grandad bonded quite a bit, which this is not. I think it's worth those couple extra bucks to get the 100 proof bottled and bond version. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, Old Granddad 114 has finally just recently become available in Ohio. So I've never tried it yet. I haven't been able to get a bottle at this point, but I'm excited to finally be able to buy it locally. So look for that in the future. But yeah, I'm a fan of the line, the brand Old Granddad. Like I said, now made by Jim Beam. Good stuff, especially for the price. A good, solid bourbon. All right. If you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. You can follow Max and myself on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are at Bourbon and a Baby, and we have a shop on Spreadshirt. I'll put the link in the description below, and don't forget to check out Ran When Parked Supply Company. I'll put their link in the description below as well. Cheers. It's like a little piece of history as I drink it. It's amazing. Awesome.